This podcast is brought to you by the Prospect Research Institute, where researchers come to learn, innovate, and connect.
Another resource is the Treasury Office, which publishes yearly a report of authorized foundations with the income they had in the year and what type of activities they support.
Welcome to Prospect Research Chat Bites, a podcast by and for prospect research professionals. This interview is part of the Career Curious series. I'm Jennifer Filla. Today, I'm talking with Miguel Angel Hernández, Prospect Research Coordinator at Monterrey, Mexico. Hello, Miguel. Thank you for joining me today on Chat Bites.
Hello, Jen. It's great to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Now, I've never been to Mexico. And before we jump in, I'm just wondering if you would be willing to share something that makes Mexico special to you.
Oh, of course. To me, what makes Mexico special is culture. It's vast and magical. You can find very diverse and exciting things throughout the country, from north to south, from west to east. There is much to see and know. Each area of the country has its very own ecosystem, its weather, along with its very particular history and beautiful and colorful traditions. Also, Mexico has a lot of art, a lot of history. We have delicious food that you need to taste, beautiful landscapes, and we are hospitable people. And we love to have friends from all over the world.
So I'm going to have to come visit you. I'm sold. I need to come say hello.
Okay.
Okay. Only if you give me a tour. Only after COVID has disappeared.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it will be fun.
So I'd love to know if you're willing to share what your career has been like and how did you end up in prospect research?
I work for Monterrey, which is a private nonprofit institution committed to the quality of higher education in the country. Monterrey has a history of 78 years promoting education in Mexico, and there are 26 Monterrey campuses across the country. My academic training is in the field of information technology. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in IT management. And I began to collaborate with Monterrey in 2008 in the IT field. But at the end of 2014, I joined the philanthropy team supporting the database administration. And before this, the world philanthropy was unknown to me. And at the time, the philanthropy department of Monterrey was going through a restructuring process with the help of a consultant from USA. And he helped us reorganize and adapt the process to work similar as they do in the USA. And this is how the prospect research area was introduced. At what point, 5 of the first alumni of the university were coming back for a visit 50 years after their graduation. And although I was in the database management team, I was asked to do some research and find information about them. I remember that I went to the library to look for some photographs in the old yearbooks. And luckily, there was a picture of them playing American football. And that was an experience that I really enjoyed, especially seeing that the information was helpful. And over time, a position opened for prospect researcher under the new organization scheme. And I applied for the vacancy, and that's how I began my formal career as prospect researcher in June 2016. And for me, it has been an honor to promote changes to the organization and evolve the way how philanthropy activities were carried out at Monterrey and in Mexico.
My goodness, you had a really tough task to try to research alumni who were celebrating their 50th reunion.
It was a fun activity.
And you had to go back to paper, which is great. Like, yes, these things still exist.
Yeah, go to the library also was a powerful experience.
That's wonderful. Well, you and I met in person at an APRA International Conference. You also earned a digital badge at the Prospect Research Institute. So you've been exposed to how things work in the US from a research
Mhm.
perspective. I'm curious, what about fundraising and research is really different in Mexico from the US or even other countries?
It is very different because the prospect research in Mexico is not as professionalized as it is in the USA. This is a new field and there are many opportunities for growth. An important issue is the availability of information in Mexico. We have a data regulation law that must be considered. Also, in Mexico, there are no open records about property, real estates, or salary wages. So when we do a suggestion of how much to request for a gift, that recommendation is formed considering many other intangible factors. For example, their willingness to give, what topics are they interested in, is the person involved in social support, and what are the estimated ranges of the company income. We also consider the latest news and announcements on social media. And finally, and most important, those this person already has a relationship with the Tec de Monterrey. And also, we ask the opinion of the gift officer.
Sure. Yeah. So one of the members at the Institute was curious about real estate in Mexico. How does it work? I realize it's not public record, but are there any demographics? Do you still focus on things like this is a wealthy area, that kind of thing?
There's some important institution. It's a government institution called INEGI. Is the statistic national institution, and probably they have some kind of records about the distribution of the wealth in Mexico. You can approach to the institution webpage, is inegi.gov.mx, and there's a lot of chances that you can find some kind of information from them, but especially way to know about the real estates of the person is very difficult here in the country.
Because
Yeah,
it's not public. You can't just
it's not
match.
public.
Yeah. And she had another question too. What do, just generally speaking, what do major donors look like in Mexico? Like, what kind of indicators are you looking for to say, yes, this is definitely someone who could provide major support?
Something very important is that the biggest companies in the country have social responsibility activities, and we look for this kind of prospects. In Mexico, there's very important industries like the food industry, the beverage industry, metallurgic industry, and we look for these companies, and they are very involved in the education field. Also, you can check on the media what kind of projects are you looking funds for. You can search in the newspapers and events and what type of person attend that events. So we do this sometimes, and it's a good source for names for prospect research.
Wonderful. What kind of day in the life do you have? Like, what is it like when you go to work? What are you doing all day?
We are a small shop. We have a team leader in charge of prospect management, and we have a specialist. He does prospect research, an intern, and myself. I'm the coordinator of the prospect research, and I'm responsible for the prospect research team workloads. And my day usually begins early because my cats wake me up for breakfast. Then I check the request to make the team's assignments. If there are any problems with delivery dates, I check with the campus which one has priority and adjust the work schedule. And this is a critical task because we serve all the campuses in the country and to all the main projects that Tec de Monterrey has. We focus on the assignments that already have a visit appointment, and then we check the prospects to be qualified. In addition, for each profile, we have a quality control process when where we review the information generated, the suggestion of the gift, even the spelling of the document. All this is done before delivering the profile. And the whole team is involved in this activity because it helps us to know our prospects and learn more about the country business work. Also, we check the media daily to learn the most relevant news from our donors, prospects, alumni, or companies in general. And this is an activity in which the entire team contributes. If we see any interesting information, we register it in our system and is published in an internal blog for the rest of the philanthropy office and even for other organization members. And also, sometimes we support other departments, for example, the alumni office. Once a year, we help them with profiles for their awards nominees. And another example is that we sometimes recommend candidates for council positions at Tec de Monterrey. And talking about what I like best about my work, I'm convinced that education can make a difference in the world. So what I like most about my activities is supporting young people to achieve their goals through their studies, and that this will be reflected in the future in a better country.
Great. That's quite a day. And I love that you're tasked with helping to find prospects for the council.
Yeah, sometimes there's some asking for do that job.
That's wonderful. And if money were no object, we love these questions. If money were no object, what research tool would you want to buy for your shop?
Well, we recently did our first screening exercise, and we had interesting findings. We have been using the information to find new donors, especially alumni abroad. And I would like to have a tool that allows us to perform these types of exercises. Also, it will be great to have some add-ons to data visualization in Salesforce, which is our CRM. And I would love to add another prospect researcher to our team.
Staff. Yes.
Yeah, staff.
More hands on deck.
Yes.
That would be nice. Great. Well, before I let you go, I'm wondering if you have any hot tips or resources that researchers can use to better understand donor prospects in Mexico.
You must be clear about what type of project you are seeking funds for. So a hot tip is to search in the media who attends events related to the project. It's a good source to have names. And there are also specialized publications such as El Economista, a newspaper, or Expansión, a magazine, that deal with relevant topics about the Mexican economy. They also publish lists such the most important companies or the top businessmen in Mexico, powerful women, Mexican leaders, and that can help you to find prospects. Another resource is the Treasury Office, which publishes yearly a report of authorized foundations with the income they had in the year and what type of activities they support. And this is very useful, especially when you are looking for Mexican foundations. So I can tell that it's essential that you know how to adapt your search, since the culture of information is a challenge.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing today, Miguel.
Oh, thank you. Thank to you. And if you want to know more about prospecting in Mexico, the Tec de Monterrey Prospect research team will be delighted to help you with your doubts.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was Miguel Angel Hernández, Prospect Research Coordinator at Tecno Monterrey, Mexico. I hope you enjoyed learning about what it's like to be a prospect researcher in Mexico today with Miguel. And I also want to make a shout out to Deborah Drucker, a Prospect Research Institute member. Thank you for helping with some of the questions for the interview today. This is a perk of being a Prospect Research Institute member, and you can become one at any time simply by signing up for an account to view the free resource collections on our website at www.member.prospectresearchinstitute.org. And I know I should be focused on the research resources and the insights, the gems that Miguel shared with us today, but I have to say I'm intrigued by the magical towns he described across Mexico. And I am going to have to schedule a visit. It's one place I haven't been, and I live on the same continent. I hope you might also consider doing that. Travel is amazing, and it's really fun to meet up with researchers live in other countries. Hey, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to come check out the Prospect Research Institute's learning community. It's a membership community with powerful resources, great discussions, and comprehensive courses. Check it out at member.prospectresearchinstitute.org. I'd love to have you join me as a member of the learning community. See you there.